Hi everybody, it's a tutorial for Kerry, that's KerryDenyer here on YouTube. I'm so glad you liked your journal I sent you, Kerry, and all the bits and bobs that was in it. You've asked me to do a tutorial for you on, or to show you how I make my flowers. So the ones that I sent you, I'll have to do another one for the organza type ones, but this is the paper roses that I made. Basically what I do is any cardstock or paper or anything you've got, what you'd need is a square, and this is just the paper that I'd made the pockets with. I think I left a link for you on where I got the paper from. This, you just obviously you get a square, cut a square of your card, and then you just cut it into a, what do you call that, spiral. Good grief. Sorry, I injured my finger last night, so this doesn't look very attractive with a big white bandage on. Looks worse than it is, but it was a hot glue gun incident, so we'll see no more. So you cut your spiral, and I just use the Fiskars, just a pair of deckled edge scissors, any kind of ones will do. And what you do is you cut it so it's in a spiral, and you get that. Then what you do is you take the paper and just like fold it in half, so that you get it like that, and you're folding it all the way around and it starts to go in a circle. It doesn't have to be exact, just roughly is fine, and you just work your way all the way around the spiral. I'll try and do this as quick as I can, like that, and turn it round. It doesn't have to be creased really hard, it's just roughly, and just work your way right into the centre like this. And I hope you can see what I'm doing here, okay? I can't. Oh, this is getting in a rough already. That's it. Just keep folding it. It's just like you get a die. So Marion Creatables, I think, does a die that cuts these out, but you can cut them yourself, so just as quick, I think, as by the time you get all the dies out and start cutting them and whatnot anyway, so I just cut my own. And then you get to the centre bit, and this is your flap that you're going to use just in a minute for gluing, so you don't need to just go in as far as that and leave that centre bit unfolded. Then you go back, it all kind of goes like that. Go back to the outer edge, and all you do is you just start rolling it in, and you just simply roll, just keep a hold of it and roll it all the way around. And you'll see it's starting to form the centre of the flower here. And you keep going. It does, when it's it's easier on the outside, and you just keep it tight. You can let it go again if you want, it just gives a different effect to the flower once you're finished, but just keep rolling this. And this is going to make quite a big one, because that was quite a big square of paper that I had. It's a great way of using up scraps again. I'm always using up scraps of things, but I never like to throw any papers out. It's bigger than my thumb, then it gets caked, because you never know what you might use it for. And you see this now, it's starting to form the flower, and you just keep going all the way around, just holding it. And you don't need to worry about, sometimes depending on how you've cut it, it will start ripping sometimes when it gets a bit nearer the end of it, but I just keep going. And at the moment you can't see any of the deckled edge from here, but as it comes on the outside and gets bigger, it actually forms the outside of your flower that you'll see in the ones that I made for you, Kerry. That's in the goodies that I sent you. So I keep going round, and it gets a bit tougher at this edge, but there to tuck all the bits in, sometimes it's just as easy just to sort of guide it round. And it almost, when it comes to the end, it almost kind of wants to tuck itself in behind this flap anyway. So keep going round here, and you just keep tightening it. And there is a little rip I have here, but don't worry about it, it doesn't matter, because it's all going to get held together. You will need some sort of tacky glue, or, let's see, that one's come undone, quick drying kind of glue. The one that I use is just a Hobbycraft tacky glue that I think is great. I just I always have a supply of it. We don't have a Hobbycraft where I'm at, but whenever I'm in Hobbycraft I kind of buy a bottle of it just so I've got spare. I think I have one whole spare one now and I'm having to start on a new bottle, so I've got one spare and another one that's got just the dregs in the bottom kind of thing. So I didn't want to use it for the tutorial. Oh, this is getting kind of tough, this one round. Typical, because I'm trying to show you how to do it. And you see this is starting with the flower here now. I hope you can see this. It does come apart a bit, but don't worry, as long as you try and keep it level. And then as you come around the outside, this flap is the bit that is going to glue it all at the back here. That's the flap that we had, and that's going to cover over here. So you just take a look at it, see how you want it, and work it in your fingers. It's quite easy. I mean, I'm probably not explaining this very well. And you just keep twisting it until you get it where you want it to sit. Like that. And you can see how the deckled edge part starts to show now on leaves. So all I do is I kind of take a hold of it, make sure it's tight where I want it to be. And you can, oh, that's ripped again, but don't worry, I'll get this glued in. This is the flap now that we're left with. And all I do then is I take, this is just the Hobbycraft tacky glue that I use, and I just think it's brilliant for this kind of thing. I use it for all my flowers really. And you do need a good dot of glue on there. And then what I also do is in here I add some more glue just on the layers. And it doesn't take long to dry. A little bit more on there. And then you just turn it around, squash it down a bit. And you do get a bit gloopy, and I just sort of tidy up the glue in around here. And the paper softens when it starts to soak up the glue anyway, and you can work it out a bit more. And like that rip that I had there, you can hardly see it now anyway, so it doesn't matter. It's on the back, it's not being seen. But you just keep pushing the centre in so that it's catching on the glue and it's all sticking together. And as you can see, that's not very long I've held that for, and that glue is holding that in position now, and I can let that go. So there is how I made them, Kerry. They're very, very simple, and they are quite nice. And the beauty of them is when you're working on different projects, if you've got scraps of paper or strips of paper left over, you can always make them into coordinating roses to go with your project. And I've got quite a collection of them made up now, so I just use up my scraps, and that's how they look. I've made another couple tonight, just getting sorry, I should have had these before. You can do whatever you want with them. That's much bigger, that one. If this is what I mean, how that one's tight in the middle, I held it. This one, if you let it go, it just kind of falls out a bit. That's the same size of paper that's used, so it all depends on how tight you hold it in the centre or whether you let it go a bit. I'll just show you the two of them. So that's the two different effects, and that's the same size of spiral and sheet of paper that I used for those two. So that's a much slacker one, and that's really tight. That's just another one. None of them look exactly the same when you're done them, because they all come out different shapes. They're all kind of unique, and they do, some of them end up, this finger of mine's terrible, sorry, it looks, no, it is a clean plaster honestly, but I've been crafting away the night so it's gotten dirty. Some of them do have this triangle kind of look, and it's just the thickness of the paper and how the you start rolling it in the middle. That one was quite a flat edge, whereas that one was smaller, if that makes sense, so it opens it up more. And that's quite tight, and I've let it go, and it's just the way the papers work with that one. The other thing I do to them then is this one. I think I just ripped this one. Instead of cutting it with the decal edge scissors, I ripped it round in a spiral so it gives that white edges. And then I just covered it then in some, for goodness sake, I can't even think what I'm trying to say now. Some stickles, that's it. Yeah, just use some stickles in it. And you can put beads in the centre, or some pearls, or anything you want really. So that's how I made them, Kerry. I hope that helps, and have fun, and I hope that you try making them too. Thanks for watching. Bye.